why all those most bearish predictions about the trade war turned out to be wrong? The tariffs were supposed to devastate your bank account. Instead, they've been mostly isolated and unimpactful. The reason? Rather than just give you a series of lists, I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you to go listen to the Costco conference call from last night. This company is in the top of its class when it comes to everything from the lowest prices to worker retention to high-quality produce with private label products that are regarded as superior to most national brands. And it just keeps delivering after delivery. If you somehow have been living under a rock and you don't know Costco, they're one of America's largest retailers by sales. They've got about 100 million dues-paying members. I am a regular. My wife's an executive. And those dues are what keep their prices so low. But crucially, Costco carries a far smaller variety of items than the typical big box store. About 3,700 products. Walmart typically has 120,000. That means Costco can pick and choose. If they think something's too expensive, they scale it down or they switch to a cheaper alternative, but not sacrificing in quality. And that's what gives Costco its scale. They move a ton of volume across a relatively small number of products. Thanks to that scale and management's creativity, inflation is almost a non-issue for this company, according to CFO Richard Galanti, who runs an amazing conference call, a tutorial. When it comes to the tariff, he says, quote, at the end of the day, we think we've done as good as anybody in terms of being able to mitigate the impact, end quote. Galanti continues, quote, I think the fact that our quarter-over-quarter margins, generally speaking, even in departments like hard lines and soft lines, have been slightly up year over year. And certainly we haven't done that without first and foremost being the most competitive out there, end quote. In other words, they've actually been able to keep their margins and have prices low. That's not supposed to happen with tariffs. I also got the sense that every time the Trump administration raised tariffs on Chinese imports, Costco would simply find a private label alternative from somewhere else around the globe. Their Kirkland brand, which I champion, is cheaper and better than what the Chinese make. So it's not like it's much hardship switching. But you know what? Even if Costco didn't have all of this scale allowing them to mitigate the damage, it might not even matter. Because the American consumer is so flush that we're seeing tons of major discretionary purchases at retail. Galanti called out big-ticket items, especially electronics, including full-price offerings, Apple's accessories, high-end gaming computers, video game consoles, big-screen TVs, all the stuff that was going to have big tariffs put on it this weekend. Ain't going to happen. Business will be good. Of course, nothing's perfect. Costco had a major website glitch that caused them to lose some sales, hence in part why the stock pulled back today. It's easy to knock their online purchases, their offerings, because they're not as great as Walmart or Target. But you know what? Ultimately, they're going to figure it out. What matters to me is that Costco's business model works perfectly in a trade war. Oh, and you know where it is working best in the globe? Shanghai. Yep, Costco recently opened a store over there, and it was mobbed. They had to close. It was so busy. How big is the Shanghai opportunity? Galanti points out that the average Costco location serves 60 to 70,000 member households. Some of their Asian locations serve 100,000 or even 120,000. But at their Shanghai store, it's already got more than twice those numbers. That's extraordinary. At the end of the day, this company's biggest China problem is that there are 25 million people in Shanghai, and they only got one Costco. Sounds to me like a terrific investment thesis for owning Costco stock for years and years to come. Mamie in New York. Mamie!
Yes. Hey, booyah, Jim.
Booyah, Mamie.
Okay, I own shares of Alibaba, which I purchased back in May.
Okay.
So is it all about the tariffs? The stock has been on a roller coaster. I notice every day they going to do the tariffs, the stock goes up. The tariffs don't go through, the stock goes down. What's the deal?
Well, man, I got to tell you, business is so strong there. They had a huge singles day with November 11. They are doing incredibly well. It's the only Chinese stock that you can own. It's got great financials, too. It's a really well-run company. So I like Alibaba. Let's go to Norman in Minnesota. Norman!
Yes, Jim.
Yes.
About 10 years ago, Sherwin-Williams took a big hit. You came on the air and said, don't worry, the only reason it went down is because the market went down. You said, buy Sherwin-Williams. So I bought it at $47 a share. Today it's $575 a share. Have you got any other advice for me today?
Well, first, I'm glad you listened. Now, of course, the catalyst there 10 years ago was a lawsuit in Cincinnati that they had lost about lead paint. and people felt that the lead paint issue was going to bankrupt them. I'd spent a lot of time with Sherwin-Williams going over the legal documents and did not seem that it should be bankrupted, and the stock therefore took off and deserved to get its deserving place. And then they consolidated the industry. They've been able to raise price, but most important, they're just great guys. And congratulations, and stay long, Sherwin-Williams. Symbol SHW. Costco's model works perfectly in a trade war. Oh, and the irony of ironies, Costco works best in China. Much more Mad Money, including my exclusive with Centene, not Dentine, Centene. As Elizabeth Warren backs off from her most radical plans on the healthcare front, wondering how the company's positioning itself? Why don't we talk with the CEO? Then nearly 1 in 4 U.S. households include someone who suffers from migraines. Tonight, I'm eyeing an under-the-radar but in-my-head biotech player that hopes to help. And by the way, it's actually migraine. We dropped the S. I'm the American Migraine Foundation spokesperson. Trust me. And all your calls rapid fire in tonight's edition of the Lightning Round. So stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.